A lot of football trading videos jump straight to the boom, I made a profit moment, but they rarely show you what football trading is really all about, or the practical steps that lead to those results. This is part 1 of a new series, where in each video I'll demonstrate different ways of using the tools at Gold Profits, how I use them, what I look for, and just as importantly, when I walk away and do nothing. Right, let's get into day 1, where you'll learn a super quick way to build your shortlist. So here I am in the Team Stats matrix, which is where you'll find a short list of Gold Profit strategies together in one place. I'm just going to switch off head coaches who have only been in charge for 0 to 5 games, and I'll adjust the kickoff times to suit when I'm able to trade today. Now I'm simply going to go through each strategy that I'm interested in for today and start building my shortlist. From the first half strategies, I'm adding these FHG single games to my shortlist. This strategy just looks for 1 goal in the first half. For the second half, I'm adding in these SH15 games. For this strategy, 2 goals is the aim, but there's potential to make a smaller profit or scratch with 1 goal. As you can see, these 2 FH15 games have already been added to my shortlist as qualifiers for the other strategies. It's a light fixture list today, so that'll be all. Let's head to the live stats module. Here's my shortlist ready for later on the LSM. I'm setting an alarm on my phone for 3:45 PM, as that's the earliest time I'd be looking to enter a trade in the first game. I checked on my phone, and there had already been an early goal in the match, so I needed to wait for the second half for a potential SH15 instead. Okay, now it's 57 minutes into the game, and the in-play stats are looking pretty good. There's been action from both sides, and the live stats guideline is green, so there's good potential for a goal or 2. I'm going to back over 2.5 goals at 4.1. for half a point, which for me today is £5. Okay, that's matched, so I just need to wait for a goal. That didn't take long, so now it's 2-0 on 64 minutes, and I'm going to head back to Betfair. You can see here that I could take a profit of around £6.08 by cashing out, but what I'm going to do is secure £5 profit and leave the rest on over 2.5 goals. You could also just secure scratch, so 0 profit on the unders and leave all the profit on over 2.5. There's nothing here to do now, so I'll come back later to check on the other games. On a quieter day like this, where I have a handful of fixtures to trade, I would usually just trade them from my phone. On busier days where there's multiple games running at the same time, I find it easier to trade on the laptop. So I'm back, and I'm going to remove the games that no longer qualify for their strategy because of too many goals, and this one has a red card. Now I'm down to 1 last game, which I'll return for in the second half. You might notice the coloured squares at the side of each fixture. I mark these notes down so that I know whether a game qualifies for both first and second half strategies, so I don't end up removing it from my list after 1 goal in the first half. So if it's 0-0, 1-0 or 0-1, I would look to trade it in the second half if it qualifies as an SH15. It's now 61 minutes in the last game, and the LSG is red, but it's borderline, so I might still trade it. Let's have a look at Betfair. So the over 2.5 goals odds here are only at 2.2. Personally, I like to aim for 3.5 or higher, and it's going to take a while for them to climb up to that, and that won't leave a lot of time for 2 goals. This game is a no trade for me, so that's it for the day. As I said, it was a quiet fixture list today, but I didn't have to spend much time as it was a case of ducking in and out to check on games, which usually I would most likely use my phone to do. It was an easy profit of 0.5 points added to the bank today. It's day 2 of my trading sessions, and I'm back in the matrix tool. There are other ways to build your shortlist on Gold Profits, but I'm going to keep things simple for now, and I'll branch out a bit more in day 3. It's a busier fixture list this afternoon, so I'm going to set the kickoff time filter to finish at 5 PM. Now I'm going to add all of these FHG single games to my list, and I'll do the same with SH15 and FH15, as these are my favourite trading strategies. I've ended up with 24 games on my list, which might seem a bit nuts, but as you saw in day 1, many of the games are removed due to poor in-play stats or early goals. Just to let you know, I've increased my stakes from £10 per point to £13 for this day, as we're into January now and I'm compounding my stakes each month. So that's it for the setup, and I'll return later for trading. I'm back, but unfortunately I missed the first game as something came up. It would have been a winner, although the in-play stats weren't great for most of the first half. I most likely would have entered late into the first half when the LSG went green and caught a nice winner. But not to worry, as there are plenty of games today. The second game has had a goal too, but it would have come too early, so I'll go ahead and remove these two from the LSM. This game is the last of the early kick-offs, and it qualifies for the FH15 strategy. The in-play stats are looking okay, although there are more corners than shots. I'll take a look at Betfair. The market is a bit gappy, but with my small stakes it should be okay. If you're using larger stakes, I'd recommend using the filters to remove lower leagues when you're putting your shortlist together. I could probably get matched at odds of over 5 here. I'm just going to check the LSM again. There's been another shot on target, so I'm going to go ahead and enter this trade. A minute or two later and I'm matched, so I just need to wait now. Okay, there's been a goal, so I'll head back to Betfair. I'll wait for the market to settle and then trade out. I'm just going to lay my original stake for now and decide what to do. Okay, what I'm going to do is secure half a point profit and leave the rest of the profit on the overs. My reasoning for this is there's still plenty of time for a second goal to boost my profit, but I'd like to make sure I come away with a profit from the game whatever happens. The other options are to secure scratch and leave all the profit on the overs, or you can just trade out for an equal profit. Another goal flashed up at 38 minutes, but unfortunately it was ruled out. There are 7 minutes of added time, so perhaps chance for another goal yet. And here it is, a nice late goal, and this time it sticks. So I finished with £11.30 from this game, which is 0.87 points for me. At this stage, there's a decision to make. Do I carry on with the rest of my trading session, or do I take my profit for the day and get on with other things? My target for the month is to make 10 points profit, so this would be a great start. A big part of being a successful trader is mindset and bank management, and it's something that I'm personally working on all of the time. So with that in mind, I'm going to bank my profit for the day. I'm in a good spot here because it was an early kickoff. If I had been trading the 3 PM kickoffs, it would have been more of a juggling act to make sure I ended up in profit for the day. That's not to say it's not possible, but I'm in a position now where I can bank an easy profit for the day and free the rest of my afternoon up. It's the final day of trading for this episode, and I've got my shortlist ready for a busy Sunday fixture list. I did something slightly different today. Although the team stats matrix is a great place to start, especially if you're a beginner, for my usual routine I use a custom filter to tighten things up. This particular custom filter searches team stats for games where the home team is green in the attack table and the away team is red in the defence table, and vice versa. This just means the games it finds will have teams that have shown strong attack versus a weak defence. I added these matches to the list, as long as they also qualified for a goal profit strategy as well. Finally, I also added Kevin Laverick's selections to my list from the community forum, if they weren't already shortlisted. I do have to pop out today, so some of my trading will be on the phone, but I'll document it as well as I can. There's been an early goal in the first game, so I'll wait for the second half for that one. The other 2 early kick-off games are second half strategy qualifiers, so I'll return for those. There have already been 2 goals at Milton Keynes, so I'll remove that from the list. The in-play stats at QPR are poor at the moment. It's a bit later into the matches now, and the in-play stats at QPR just haven't been quite good enough for me to enter a trade. But the Leeds Man United game is looking good, with a few shots in the first 10 minutes of the second half. I'm going to wait a bit longer to see how it goes. There's been a goal at QPR, so I'll remove that from the list now. I'm going to enter an SH15 trade on the Leeds game by backing over 1.5 goals for 0.5 points. There's been a quick goal, so I'm going to secure scratch. I'm going to let this trade run and hope for another goal, as there's plenty of time left in the game. Another goal already. I didn't have to wait long, so that's 0.95 points profit for me from that trade. That's a decent profit already for the day, so as with yesterday, I'm going to bank my profit and leave it there. I hope you found it useful to see how I personally research my trades for the day, and how I decide whether to trade a game or just cross it off the list. It takes some time and practice, but there's plenty of resources and support 7 days a week for you at Gold Profits. If you haven't tried it before, get 20% off with the code YouTube and get on the road to being a profitable football trader. If you'd like more content like this, drop me a comment below. Thanks for watching.